Thinkerbell Labs' mission is to solve low literacy and employability rates among visually impaired people all over the world. And what we do is we build technology like Annie, which is the world's first self-learning device for visually impaired students, to solve this problem. Annie is the world's first self-learning and fully connected Braille literacy device. The way it works is Annie guides a student through lessons, games and challenges, which ensure that they become fundamentally literate and create a strong foundation. So Annie has various games and reward systems built right in. We actually made one of the first interactive tactile games for the blind called Tetris for the blind, and this has made people really competitive, and it really, like, gamification drives a lot of engagement. It creates this kind of a stickiness in competition among students, because of which they learn faster. So that's how Annie uses gamification to teach children faster. So Annie has had a profound impact on the literacy levels of visually impaired and blind children all over the world. It has increased their appetite to learn. They are more interested in education now. They are more interested because of the gamification and the interactive content that Annie has. And we have seen enrollment rates go up in various schools. We have seen attendance rate increase. So that's the kind of impact that we have, and we want to do even more. So the traditional methods of teaching Braille are archaic. They literally require extensive hand-holding. Like, if I were to teach a student, I would have to take their hand and teach them one-on-one. That process is really slow and often requires a lot of personalized attention. All the teaching aids used are also set 100 or 150 years older than current what can be used, and that's what sets it apart. Like Annie brings self-learning to the child. It brings problem identification, instant corrective feedback, and cross-stakeholder visibility. 2022 has been a breakout year indeed. I think after the pandemic, things which actually the digital divide between children with visual impairment and sighted students had increased quite a bit. Things like self-learning, remote enablement became day to day. Like, nobody was questioning whether these are necessary or not for the child. So that's why there was an inflection point in our journey as well. The world realized that self-learning and remote enablement are not nice to have anymore. Everyone should have them. EdTech must be invested in. So that's how there was a huge upsurge in our that's why there was a huge upsurge in the amount of inquiries for Thinkerbell and Annie, and that's how we actually ended up on Shark Tank India. So Annie's newfound popularity on social media has really helped us. Various stakeholders have now started reaching out inbound. We don't have to create basic awareness of why this needs to exist, because earlier, before the Shark Tank feature, we would actually have to create empathy within the stakeholder, teach them why this is important. But now, after a child who has actually used it and seen the benefit has told it to the world, that has really helped us, and the amount of inbounds have increased. So now we are more focused on larger projects because the base level of knowledge is there already. So the main challenges that we aim to address are currently a lack of interactive content and a complete disconnectedness in the infrastructure. So as of now, when a child goes to a mainstream school, the teachers are not trained. There is no one way of measuring progress of the child, and there is very little venues for the child to learn on their own. So those are the barriers that we aim to address. Okay, so Annie's integration with inclusive schools really improves the effectiveness, because it allows mainstream educators to get sensitized and then trained on catering to the needs of a visually impaired child, and this helps creating more capacity in our country to ensure that children, irrespective of their access to a special school or an inclusive school or a mainstream government school also, they do get access to the best education, irrespective of where they are. So we have raised 4.3 CR in a round from Angels as well as 3 sharks from Shark Tank India. As of last round, which was 1 year back, our valuation was around 35 CR, which is around $5 million.